I gotta know how many of these books you own because I bet as much as 50% of them are in your PC and they're selling above the recent 12-month average at a total of $50,000 in 7 days. Hit the like and subscribe button at the list at number 10. Venom Lethal Protector number 1. Spiking because of the movie at the list at number 10 for the first time in 2024. The Direct 9.8 is up 70%, selling for $185. This was like a $100 book all year long. The Newsstand 9.8 sold for $260, up 6%. Seems a little soft. The Gold Foil, that's a 9.8, sold for 20% above the recent 12-month average at $13.25. I like these books, but I'm actually personally watching the prices of the Black Error variant, which is the absence of the red foil misprint edition. And at a 9.8, I don't think people know what to price it at. I'm seeing books that are so volatile that I'm starting to get interested. This has been on the list now 24 times this year, by the way.
This year?
This year. This is the first time you're talking about it because it hasn't been on the list in 4 weeks.
Coming in number 9, Wolverine number 1. This is the first solo Wolverine title, and it's been on this list 24 times this year, but absent for the last 4 weeks. And I'll tell you, one of the most interesting things to me about this book in the past week is that there's 22 new 9.8s on that census.
The most interesting thing to me this week is that I was right.
You're like this great predictor because you said this book will be sub 500, and the last 9.8 sale, this book was $470. We also saw a 9.4 go up 23%. We saw the Newsstand 9.4 up 35%, and the 9.6 had 7 copies sell above the average with a high of 285. That's up 11%.
Will this book be on the list next week? I don't think so. Download Key Collector Comics to find out. Before we even hit the mic to tell you, use code TOM101 and unlock a free 2-week subscription of the app. You get access to this Hot 10 before us, and you'll learn a great deal about funny books. I love the next book on the list because it's not spiking because of movies or mainstream media, but it has been spiking all year long because comics are so damn good to read. Transformers. Issue number 1. First Autobots, first Decepticons, all because, and courtesy of Robert Kirkman, Energon Universe and Transformers at Skybound. Read your comics. Over $1,700 worth of this key collectible has traded above the recent 12-month average this past week. The Newsstand 9.2 is up 16%. The 9.4 clocked in a year-high sale above 58%. And then the Canadian price variant at a 9.4 is up 41%, selling for $500. This book, to me, has always been worth more than $1,000. I remember trying to hunt for it, trying to spend less than $1,500, and to see the last sale at $8.95. How do you feel about that?
Like you, a huge fan of that book, but I think the price is too low. But coming in number 7, Hulk number 1. This book is probably the most actively sold book up to this point on this list. We've all seen that Red McGuinness cover. We know that one. Let's talk about the variants. Acuna, 1 in 20 variant. The 9.8 is up 56% and sold for $425. The McGuinness variant, 9.8, up 16%. The Hero Initiative, up 20%. The Dynamic Forces, up 22%. And a 9.8 sold for $360. That's up 35%. We saw 7 copies outsell the average this week. I am not shocked there's that many sales in a 9.8 for this cover, because it's an outstanding cover. And we're seeing so much love for the Thunderbolts now that we're seeing marketing and trailers for Thunderbolts and Brave New World on the Captain America side.
Join the mystery mail call, ComicTom101.com. John Boy Myers, every single box, Wolverine, Revenge, Red Band, Polybag, Nuff Said, at the list at number 6, Incredible Hulk 340, McFarlane, Wolverine, not a first appearance, but selling like it is. We have 16 different sales for a total of over $4,000 worth of monies moved in 7 days on this key comic. 5 8.5s outsold the average, the highest for an increase of 41%. 6 9.4s outsold the 12-month average, the highest for an increase of 34%. The 9.8 sold for $1,080, up 2%. But here's the thing, the last GPA 9.8 was $917. This book is worth more than $1,000 to me. I don't care if there's been an increase of 4 copies added to the census at 9.8 alone in the last 7 days. Everyone wants this McFarlane cover. It's probably because of Deadpool Wolverine. It has dropped on the list a bit. Be watching this, because if this approaches sub 900, I'm going to start hunting for it.
I love this book. Whether this is a $500 book or a $1,000 book, it's hard to tell in this type of market. But this is a book that's more than just on a Hot 10 list. This is on my list. This is on a lot of people's lists. It doesn't have to be on here no matter how many weeks. It's just something that's coveted and wanted. And if you really think about it, it's almost an homage to Wolverine number 1 in a weird way, but improved. You still have the claws, you still got a close-up of Wolverine, and you got a reflection of Hulk. So it feels like it emulates that book to some degree, but it's better.
Which brings us to number 5 on the list with Uncanny X-Men 266, the first full appearance of Gambit. And I think of all the characters that featured in Deadpool Wolverine, Gambit, Channing Tatum specifically, has the opportunity to get the same type of treatment that Deadpool got and rise up to be a fan favorite, holding his own in his own film, possibly led by Ryan Reynolds. It makes sense. Take a look at the numbers, because after this last week's deleted scene coming out, proving that he survives the brawl that he goes in, people thought he was probably dead. And not only that, was able to exit the void. He's around. It could happen. Over $6,000 worth of money's moved above the recent 12-month average. 692 sold this last week, an increase of 23% on the high. The newsstand 92 had 3 copies outsell the 12-month average, the highest for an increase of 20%. 794s outsold the 12-month average, the highest for an increase of 27%. 596s outsold the average, and we had a high sale this year at $350, an increase of 48%. And then we saw a 9.8 sell for $725, an increase of 14%. Last GPA sale was just above $600, $619. I think this book is worth more than $600 for sure.
Can Channing Tatum carry a Gambit movie? I don't know, but if anyone can make it happen and have it still be good, it's Ryan Reynolds. Now, how much does Channing Tatum want this? He would kill kittens for this.
I would kill kittens.
I have not seen an actor this passionate and excited for a role since, heck, I can't even think of one. Okay, so at this opportunity, this is our Gambit. And are you okay with that? Because it's either this or nothing potentially.
Number 4 on the list, first appearance of Shatilov. We have Silver Surfer number 1 from 1968. Over $8,000 worth of sales took place above the recent 12-month average. Also, it's the first solo ongoing Silver Surfer series. I should probably mention that.
This is probably the third most relevant Silver Surfer for the vintage time frame. We had FF48, which is first appearance, and a cameo appearance of Galactus. FF49, which had the first cover appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus and first full Galactus. And now we have Silver Surfer number 1. And the fans love it. They're talking with their pocketbooks. Let's take a look at these numbers. Let's start off with an impressive 5.5 sale that's up 21% for a year high of $675. A 6.5 is up 1%. The 8.5 is just broken even. The 9.0 up 1%. For a sale high of $3,735. We're seeing an evening out and a plateauing of the price, and now we're figuring out exactly where this book lies. Clearly, the 5.5 had to come up a little bit, but you're starting to look at the middle high range, and that's where people feel comfortable, and that's where they're dictating this is the number for these books.
We've seen Galactus, FF is coming, Dr. Doom's going to be Robert Downey Jr., we know we're getting Silver Surfer, we know we're getting Charlotte Ball, and this is one of the most important Silver Surfer keys of all time. Enough said.
In at 3, Amazing Spider-Man 41. I am so excited to see this book. I love this book because it's one of my favorite artists for Spider-Man, John Romita Sr. Came in at 39, came in at 40, and now is giving us the first appearance of Rhino in issue 41. And there's a lot of excitement. Obviously, it's coming out to be on this movie with the Kraven the Hunter movie. I'm scared. I'm scared of what I'm going to get.
Me too.
Really am. Anytime you're morphing people into something, we're going to get some weird Rocksteady Bebop version that we might hate, but God darn it, I hope I love this.
Yo, Aaron Taylor Johnson's awesome. He's a great actor. He got fit as hell. He's running around on all fours, biting people's noses off in trailer, not exaggerating. The 5.5, yep, that's up 9%. The 6.5's up 24%. How does it feel? I mean, a 7.0 you can get for $800. That's up 12%. I feel kind of torn about this comic book because on one end, I don't think the movie's going to help it that much. But on the other end, this is like one of the most affordable big villain keys that you can acquire for a reasonable price in the Amazing Spider-Man run.
If there's any safe bet for anybody who's in the hobby, it's generally putting your money in ASM keys and Batman keys, true keys. First appearances of major characters, and this is just one of those characters in books.
Do you agree with us? Let us know in the comment section below while we move on to number 2 on the list with New Mutants 98, the first appearance of Deadpool, 17 different sales, and over $8,000 trading hands, virtually above the recent 12-month average.
What is wrong with you?
They don't listen to us. That's why you can feel really good about this show, is that even though we may say some controversial opinions about money, hit the subscribe button. They don't listen to us because like the 9.8, we'll save it. We'll say, just jump into the numbers.
The newsstand 9.4 up 25% for $579. The 9.6, 4 copies sold in that grade. One up 11% for $575. The 9.8, oh God, here it comes. $1,575. versus the $1,291 average. That's up 22%. Whoever you are, congrats on getting the book. But clearly, you do not watch this show or the market because you just bought it for $1,575.
Can I break that down for them real quick? Because we did report on a sale sub $1,000 last week. If you were patient, you could have gotten this for near $1,000. Get this, last GPA sale on a 9.6 was $471. If you listen to us, you wouldn't be walking out with just a 9.8. No, you would have had a 9.8 and a 9.6 for that amount of money.
Do your friends, do your family a favor, share these freaking videos so we can get the info out to everybody and they can make the wisest purchase possible.
I want to know if these next sales were wise purchases. Make sure to follow the Golden Age Guru. Welcome him. He just completed his first month on the Hot 10, holding his own. He's over on Instagram. Go say hi, because this #1 book is selling so aggressively. Over 30 different sales in 7 days that trended above the recent 12-month average. Multiple record breakers to report on. Over $7,500 in sales. Let's talk about some of those sales. We saw 394 sell above the recent 12-month average, the highest for an 8% increase. 11 9.6s sold, and the highest sale was a 28% increase. And 398 sold, the highest for $650. That's a 28% increase. What book are we talking about? And the #1 hottest book in the world is Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, issue #8, The Origin of the Symbiote.
Congratulations, Secret Wars #8. We believe, because this was dipped down last week and it's bouncing back. So congrats to everybody who followed us on this list. Congrats to all the books that you guys have on this list. Comment down below, how many did you get? How many do you have? And what are you picking up?
Are we waiting for Secret Wars, Tom Holland to be joining the rest of the team on Battle World? Or is he going to be joining Venom in Venom 3 and getting that symbiote in 3 months? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. And as always,
Geek responsibly.
enough said.